Question time. Are you busy or are you leading? Because a lot of high achieving professionals, especially women, confuse constant activity with actual leadership. We were raised to believe that the harder we work, the more valuable we become. That if we say yes to the extra projects, just stay late in the office, take it on, figure it out, and carry the load, that someone will eventually notice and reward our effort. But here's the truth, and this is something that I've had to learn throughout my career, and I've been an attorney for 20 years and now as an executive coach. Busyness is not a leadership strategy, and it will never take you to your next leadership level. There's a real difference between being a busy professional and being a strategic leader. And once you understand it, your entire career will shift. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. So let me first start with busy professionals, they focus on tasks. Strategic leaders, they focus on outcomes. I want you to be that strategic leader that cares about the outcome but does not get caught up in the mundane tasks. Busy professionals live in their to-do list. They wake up already in motion. Their day is determined by emails that need to be sent, requests that need to be taken care of, fires that need to be put out, and of course, reactions. They're excellent doers, reliable, consistent, and even hardworking. But guess what? They're stuck at the activity level of their current job. A strategic leader operates differently. And this is what I want you to know, because strategic leaders focus on outcomes, direction, and of course, priorities. They ask what moves the mission forward. They ask questions that matter. What actually matters today? What needs my leadership and not just my energy? And because they operate from purpose and not from a place of being pressured, their work has weight. A strategic leader's work has visibility and it also has impact, and that is leadership. So the second thing I want to point out to you is that busy professionals say yes to everything. A strategic leader protects their capacity. So let's talk about boundaries, because this is where a lot of our many professionals actually get stuck. Busy people say yes out of fear of disappointing others, fear of slowing down, and fear of missing opportunities, and fear that their value won't be recognized. Their identity is actually tied to being useful. But leaders understand this one truth, that your value isn't in your workload. It's in your wisdom. Let me say that again. Your value does not lie in your workload. It's actually in your wisdom, what you bring to the table. Strategic leaders protect their capacity because they know that they cannot think clearly when they're overloaded. They cannot influence well when they're exhausted. And they cannot lead teams if they can't even lead their own time. Every yes that you say yes to has a cost, and leaders must choose wisely. So the third point that I want to bring to your attention is that busy professionals are reactive. A strategic leader is proactive. Busy professionals spend their days responding to whatever lands in front of them. It feels productive, but it's actually survival mode, and I don't want you operating in survival mode. Reactive behavior sounds like, oh yes, I'll get to that after I send these next 20 emails. Or let me put out this fire first that just has landed on my desk. Or I'm juggling too much to think right now. A strategic leader makes space to think, and that is on purpose. They schedule time for deep work. They schedule planning time. They schedule visioning time, because these are the things that help them to get closer to their priorities and see if they're making an impact. This time that allows them to think. And a strategic leader knows that leadership requires mental clarity and not chaos. A busy professional moves fast, but a strategic leader moves with intention. And that is completely different level of influence. So the next point that we're going to talk about here is that busy professionals do the work, but a strategic leader drives the work. Here's where people get stuck. And this is a point that I really wanted to make to you, because you cannot outwork your way to leadership. Let me say that again. You cannot outwork your way to leadership. That's just not how it happens. At some point, the skill that moves you forward is not how much you can do, but how well you can direct, delegate, and of course, develop others. Busy people stay at the individual contributor level for far too long because they're great at executing. But leaders elevate their scope by doing other things that matter, creating systems, influencing others, shaping priorities in your organization, delegating effectively, communicating the big picture. Those are the things that matter and get you seen. They're just not part of the workflow. They're shaping the workflow. And that's the difference between being seen as a helper and being respected as a leader. So the next point, let's talk about it, is that busy professionals often feel overlooked. But a strategic leader, they are known for their impact. Busyness keeps you hidden. When you're buried in tasks, people see your effort, and people will also see your responsiveness. People may even see your reliability, but they don't see your leadership potential. And that's exactly what you need them to see, is that you are a leader and ready to move to your next leadership level. Strategic leaders make their value visible. Now, not in a bragging way, but more of in an intentional, aligned, confident way. They communicate their wins, their impact, their influence, their ideas, their results. And they make sure that decision makers understand what they contribute and why it matters. That visibility is what shifts you from someone thinking about you, we need her on the team, to we need her in leadership. And once you make that shift, because you're showing your value, you're showing you're having this visibility, people will see it. So the next point is that busy professionals burn out, but strategic leaders, they build capacity. And busyness creates burnout. You know, burnout creates doubt, and doubt creates stagnation. Strategic leaders, they operate in the opposite way. They build capacity. They prioritize time for rest, clarity, boundaries, support, reflection, development, and they often have support folks around them, whether it's mentors, sponsors, allies, and even coaches. They understand that their mind is their most valuable leadership tool. If that tool is dull, depleted, or overwhelmed, everything else will suffer. Leaders don't just manage tasks. Leaders manage their capacity, and that, I promise you, makes all the difference. That's what creates the longevity, the influence, the presence. Listen, if you're tired of being busy, if you're tired of carrying the whole load for your team, if you're tired of being overlooked or boxed into the same role, this is your moment to shift. This is your moment to shift into strategy and to do something about it. And this is the work that I help professionals do every single day inside the Level Up Leadership Lab and through my one-on-one coaching program. If you're ready to lead with clarity, confidence, and presence, my program is directly for you. So DM me Level Up on Instagram and let's chat. Let's see how my program can assist you rise to your next leadership level. That's what it's all about. Because once you stop being busy and start being strategic, your entire career begins to move, and it's moving on purpose. If you found this helpful, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would love for you to share this video with a friend that it might resonate with them as well as they continue to move on their leadership journey. I help people, and on my channel, I share how folks can move from leveling up to leveling up with clarity and confidence. I'm Coach Lani, reminding you to take care of yourself, to give yourself grace, but to never lower your standards. See you in the next video.